Hello, everyone. My name is Lami Tinam Gidado. Welcome to the Play to Heal podcast, where we talk about the therapeutic powers of play and the journey of a play therapist in the playroom. So join us as we engage in reflective and playful conversations and explore how we can heal through play across the lifespan. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome to the Play to Heal podcast. With me here, I have Adeh Jones and Mrs. Patience Dimka. You have Mrs. Patience Dimka again. I'm sure you enjoyed the last podcast where she was here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited and honored to be part of today's conversation.
Wow.
I am excited that you called me a Mrs. and not a Miss today.
Like the last time.
Like the last time. So, yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about bonding in parenting. So I think I would like to start by asking, okay, so I'm just throwing the question. Anybody can jump in. You feel free to jump in anytime you want to. How do we build trust through bonding with children?
Okay, so let me come in this way. When we talk about bonding and then when we talk about trust, these are words that are mutually inclusive, right? Because of what they mean in the life of a child. So bonding is not just an experience; it's a right, right? Because if you take away, the bonding experience from a child's life, it means you decapitate certain experiences in the life of a child. It's to cause problem to the child emotionally, mentally, socially, and even spiritually. So yes, so bonding is the necessary ingredient a child needs, right, to grow as a wholesome child. Now to the question, how do we create that trust? Okay, I feel there are three, aspects to creating that trust. The first is the child needs to feel physically safe around the parent. Secondly, the child needs to feel emotionally safe around the parent. And then third, the child needs to feel mentally safe. If a child feels mentally, socially, and emotionally safe around you, the child will trust you. If the child trusts you, the child is bonded to you.
Yeah.
If the child is bonded to you, you have a healthy child.
Is it Adeh Jones has started?
Yeah, started. Well, I like the opening, and I'd like to say it looks like bonding is already something that should happen. If you see the way that a child grows in the womb,
Okay.
what more? What's bonding? Like that's like the final bonding.
Bonding, yes.
And it starts from the very beginning. Like the child is not growing out of the mother's womb or the family or the parent. How the child even gets to start growing is all bonding.
Yes.
So it feels like that's something that should happen.
Yeah.
Also, I agree with him about physically being safe for you to be able to learn to trust, and then bonding can happen. That's something we take for granted. We think that it should just happen, like because I am your mother, you should bond with me. So something happens to stop that because we already had that when we came.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever the child is receiving either enhances it or breaks it. And the adult in this case is responsible solely for bonding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the role of the parent. But we say two things. We say children spell trust
Okay.
or love as time.
Wow.
So as parents or as people who work with children, I think you need to know that for you to have a bond like bonding, it's almost like I always use the relationship. Like you, Sam, do you have a girlfriend? Before you get to that point where the relationship is like, I trust him,
Yeah.
you must have done something that has proven over and
Over and
over
over
that
again.
I can trust you.
Yeah.
So it takes time. So even with parents and kids, I think we should be gracious to ourselves to know that we need time, That's how they spend it. So I can have all the love I have for the child, but if I don't give the child the time, the child does not get that
Wow.
I love him or her. So yeah, it's a lot of, and you opened it by saying that it's a process,
Yeah, it
kind
is.
of. So I agree that
Yeah.
there's room to grow every day. There's room to learn. Bonding for different kids different.
Yeah.
Bonding in different families different. So it's unique to the child. It's unique to you, the parent, so that there's no one way of bonding except that there has to be safety. I have to feel
Yeah.
safe and
Safe
trust.
around. Yeah. Because I know I've heard that there's some research that, just like you mentioned, that if the baby is in the womb, and then something about reading stories, singing songs,
Knowing your voice.
knowing your voice. So that's bonding happening, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think I don't know whether at the end of the day, when the baby comes out and hear that same voice, he or she begins to feel safe
Yes.
because the voice that they are used to.
Yes. Okay. Let me talk briefly about this biopsychosocial interplay.
Yes.
You know that if the baby is inside you, the baby is connected to you
Yes.
physiologically,
Yeah.
right? And if you're angry, you pass that
Emotion.
not just emotional imprint to the child.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you're in a good place of mind, I
Yes.
mean, if you talk, if you're calm, the baby feels calm. The baby feels safe.
Yes.
If you're unsafe, the baby is unsafe.
Yes.
So over time, the baby learns the imprint of when mommy is safe, how mommy talks,
wow.
mommy's emotions, and all that. So if the mother gives birth to a child today, the child is already used to the biopsychosocial imprint of the mother.
Wow.
I know when mommy is calm.
Yes.
I know when mommy is angry. I know how mommy talks.
Wow.
Because mommy have spoken to me over and over again.
Yes.
That's why they encourage mothers, if you are pregnant, sing. You can even sing to the baby.
Yes.
You can even touch the baby.
Yes.
There are imprints of touch.
Wow.
That the baby gets all this record before even you give birth, to the child. So just like she said, bonding starts even when the baby is inside. For the mother,
Yes.
for the father, it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, but how about as a father, if I'm also reading stories close to the
Beautiful.
Yes.
So if you're reading stories,
yes, and even
Your
touch.
voice.
and even touch,
Yes.
the child, learns that, there's a different imprint I am learning inside
Okay.
that is safe.
Yeah.
There's a voice I'm learning beside this voice that is safe.
Yeah.
So not just even the parent, if another caregiver, even if it's an animal that plays around the baby that makes sound,
Yeah.
the baby will grow up with a natural connection for that sound or that experience.
Wow.
Let me share a story. Like when I was pregnant with my first boy,
Okay.
my husband plays basketball. So we
Okay.
used to go to the stadium most of the time. And yeah, when the baby was growing, I feel
That
like
sound.
I feel
can
like
see that on your cap.
oh yeah, that's why I'm representing, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only person not wearing a hat here. That's not fair. You guys need
So
to.
I don't play it, but I get to
Yeah.
showcase it for
Yeah.
them. So all my kids are sports, but you can tell that
That's beautiful.
I'm the nice,
That's beautiful.
I'm the calm in the family, right?
Yeah, you're the one in the supporters team.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I felt like, my kids play basketball right now, but what I'm trying to say is when I was pregnant, every time I go to the stadium
Yeah.
and we're playing, there's a match going on, the child is extra excited.
Yes.
Every time it happens.
Wow.
And then I said,
The mechanism can be that even when the baby is inside, the baby is used to hearing that sound.
exactly.
So research have shown that
Yeah.
in her own case, right?
Yeah.
If she's pregnant, she goes to the stadium, there's bouncing of ball. If you give birth to the baby, right? If you drop a basketball, that sound can make the baby react to.
Wow.
I know
yes.
this sound, like I
Wow.
know this.
Yes. So that's how it is with children.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's also interesting to also know that some children know that they are not wanted as soon
Okay.
as they give birth to them.
It's energy.
It's what you have.
Wow.
If a mother or
Those
does not want
unspoken
Yes.
energies.
Yes, it's energy.
gone are
Remember, I
the
said
days
you're
where,
passing.
Yes.
You're
Imprint.
passing. You're passing those imprints
Yes.
to the child.
Wow.
And we used to think that children just come in on a clean slate, like you're saying.
Tabula
They don't know.
rasa
Yeah, they
is
don't know
No,
anything.
they don't come. They don't come
no,
clean slate.
no.
They come
Exactly.
with deposit of imprints.
Wow.
Good
That's
or bad.
from their experience being in the womb. There
Yes.
are already imprints that are happening even before they come out.
Even transgenerational imprints.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I think that's the reason why the whole argument of nature versus nurture
Yes.
came up.
Yeah.
People saying, okay, belonging to the camp of, okay, what happens to this child is as a result of nature. Some people saying, no, it's nurture, like the external environment, what happens, and all of that. So I think that makes a lot of sense. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah. Wow. This conversation is getting like really interesting. So, moving on, can we shed more light on, let's say, quality time versus quantity time? Like, okay, just like she was, Mrs. Patience was talking
Yeah.
about, okay, giving time for children, like bonding happens like over a period of time.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference? I mean, what would make the difference if we're trying to talk about quality time and quantity time for a child? Are the both of them important, or should we prioritize one over the other?
Okay, so I don't know. Can I say something before?
You're fine.
I'll prefer you say
Please, you are
something
free.
before.
No problem.
Say
You're
something.
fine. You just help my points when you start.
So I think it won't be fair if we say, can we choose
Yeah.
between quality and quantity,
Okay.
right? Because the truth is, we cannot measure what is quality or even what is quantity. We can't measure it,
Wow.
right? The effect is not the person giving the time.
Wow.
The effect is in the person receiving the time.
Receiving it. Wow.
Yes. So because of children's development, you
Yes.
know, so when I mean development, emotional development and timeline,
Yes.
each child experiences time differently. So when I mean experience, the time that helps you regulate, what makes time quality for you will be different from what makes time quality for another child. So let me give a personal experience. If our children, because let me say, if our daughter is dysregulated,
Yes.
right, and then I'm holding her, she takes longer time leaving my body than if our son is dysregulated. It just takes little time.
Wow.
If he feels regulated, I mean, he leaves my body, right?
Yes.
For him, he has a short emotional timeline. For our daughter, she has a lengthy emotional
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah.
Now, so to respond to your question, they are both important in relation to our children.
Wow.
Quality time means the time you give that the child feels safe enough to go and explore.
Wow.
Remember, the children will feel safe around you,
Yes.
then to go and explore.
Yes.
While it's in the quantity of the time that you can now know, okay, this is the time that is quality. So both times are important.
Yes.
Both times are important. The children need quality time
And quantity time.
and quantity time. Quantity in the sense that it makes them feel safe enough. Remember, we talked about bonding, physical safety.
Yes.
Just knowing that a parent is around allows the child scatter their dada in that sense.
Yes.
Just knowing that, okay, my dad is
dad
at
is
home,
around,
the child
yes.
can do anything. It's safety in itself. Then the quality time is the interaction, the conversation, you know, being that springboard the child can run to you.
Yes.
If you keep a chicken here and then thunder strikes, what would the baby chicken do? Run
towards
yes,
yeah.
towards the mother
Yeah.
for safety.
Yes.
That's quality time. The chicken is there
Yes.
for the child to run to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Quantity time, the parent have to be present. That's what, you know, Ms. Dimka just said now.
Yeah.
That, you know, you have, the child spells love as time, Time. So if you're not available, the child feels, oh, my parent don't love me. Because
Yeah.
when I need that safety,
Yeah.
you're not there.
Yeah.
Before she came, I shared my experience with my dad,
Yes.
right? My dad lost me. But as a child growing up, I didn't feel loved.
Because he wasn't
He
there.
was not there. To a child, I felt if he loves me, he will have been there.
Yeah.
There are moments, events in my life that I look back, I didn't see him. Then I assume, he didn't love me. I didn't mean anything to him. If I had meant something to him, he would be there.
Yeah. Because it's like the language of love for children is time.
True.
Yeah.
To every human being.
To every human being. Not just
that's
children.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But in our context.
Yeah. But in our context, of course,
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah. So there's no, because I usually think about it, and I think I usually tell people that you might buy, lots of gifts for a child, but a child, like for me now, I know probably I had toys here and toys there, but the most valuable thing to me was the moment that was spent more than the gifts that were bought.
So let me shock you.
What?
A lot of times, those gifts are not for the children, but for the adults.
Ah,
Because you have to
okay.
think about your budget. You have to think about how it works for you too. That
Buying gifts for the child makes you feel good. You feel you're doing something worthwhile.
Oh,
A child can do without gifts. A child can do without toys.
actually,
No. So a lot of times, that's why I say a lot of times when we go deeper, right?
Yeah.
Convenient.
This beautiful thing, this gift we buy for children.
yeah.
It's not for the children, it's about the ego of the parents.
Wow.
So a child can do without those things, but a child cannot do without having you around.
Yes.
That's why I said bonding is not just an experience, it's a right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toys is not a right.
Toy is not right.
No.
Yeah. Because thinking about itself, growing up, you mustn't necessarily play with toys. If I were talking about some of those physical developments in childhood and all of that, you can do it outside. You can build
Sand,
mud houses,
trees.
trees, play with nature outside. So I'm buying into your school of thought.
Yeah.
I've bought into your school.
Got into it. I'd like to also add, as per quality and quantity.
Yeah.
I like to think that if parents are intentional about it, then the time that they have, the quantity,
Yeah.
they get to introduce the quality. But what happens with
Wow.
quality is
Yeah.
you need to know it. You need to be intentional. It's almost like what I say in our organization. We strive to be a trauma-informed organization. So we have hours, like you say, you spend 8 hours at work. But then I ask the question: in 8 hours, what did you do?
Yeah.
Do you know? Because the parents can be here from morning to evening. There are some parents that are at home all the time, but there's no bonding.
No bonding.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where the quality comes in. As a parent, you said it earlier. You said we're learning. Is it school?
Yeah.
That you think you even said something like it will be unfortunate for every parent to think that they have it all.
Yeah.
So what am I doing when I say I want to spend today, a Saturday at home with my kids? What am I thinking? Because I can waste that the quantity of time without the quality.
Making it quality.
Exactly. So be intentional, learn it, learn from the kids. What do they want? How do they want? And then you keep learning. It's not convenient. It's convenient for me to have a plan. Okay, we're going to do this and do this and do that. It's very inconveniencing for me to start experiencing their dynamics. I have kids different ages, like I said.
Yeah.
So the play I'll do with my 14-year-old, I will not do with the 8-year-old.
Of course.
And then, of course, the 4-year, that one is even something else. So you have to keep, So if I decide that I'm a standard, this is what I'll do with them all, I will give the time, but then somebody is losing something.
Yeah.
So we need to be intentional to learn to grow and give quality even in the time that we spend with the kids.
Yeah.
Because some kids can pray for you to be away. Like, where are you going?
When are you leaving? When are you traveling?
Are you not going to work today?
Yes.
That kind. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's like being present but not being present.
True.
Being present, but your presence is not eliciting safety.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they only feel safe when you're not around.
Yes.
Of course, which is an anomaly.
Yeah.
Which is worse, I'm telling you. It's
Yes.
like, then why
It's an
do
anomaly.
it's like you have an opportunity but you're not using it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it feels like a waste.
Yeah. Just like, please please go into your room. I want to watch the news. Or
Yeah.
or you are disturbing me. Just go.
So over and over again, we make them feel as if
They're a burden.
They are a burden. Thank you. They're a burden.
As a parent, also, I want to add that those moments come. Like, there are times where, honestly, you get home and you're saying, I can't give you what you want right now.
Yeah.
I don't have it. But I mean, children are smart. They get to understand. If it's not an excuse I use every day, they get it. Sometimes my kids will come and say, they'll be talking to each other, okay, mommy looks like she's tired now. Can we give her? Then somebody will come and say, how are you doing, mommy? Or they'll say, how was your day? How was it? So they're checking on me,
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes.
let me highlight something she just said here.
Okay.
You see, a lot of times I meet parents who have this good desire to really connect with their children, but they can't. Again, it's a feedback to how we're structuring our homes. Do we have structures in our homes? Personally, I'm giving a personal example.
Okay.
Because I work from home.
Yeah.
Right. Our children know when I have sessions.
Yes.
They know the time. They know who I have sessions with.
Wow.
Yes. I mean,
is that opened?
No, it's that open. My itinerary is in the wall beside my diary. So we have itinerary in the wall. So my children know, okay, from this time, daddy has a class. Wow. From this time, daddy is free. From this time, so they know that. Know. So it's a structure in our house.
Yeah.
Secondly, our children can tell you when, I'm overwhelmed, right? Beside me telling them over and over again, I mean, they already know my physiological reaction, right? They'll say, oh, daddy, are you stressed? I say, I'm so tired, I need to rest. Fine. These are conversations that happen over and over again, right? Oh, daddy, should I come and give you massage? They already know when that is available, when that is not available. And then, as a parent, I don't do everything at home.
Yeah.
The problem is, we want to do everything which makes us as parents emotionally depleted. We don't even have time for the children. So advocate for parents. Please, if you can afford it,
get the help.
Get the help.
Yeah.
Right? Outsource some of the responsibilities. Yeah. In my house, no one washes in my house. We have people who handle washing.
Yeah.
Yes, I do running the groceries.
Yes.
We have people who come and cook for the week and then stock the fridge for us.
Yeah.
My wife has ample time for herself. Yeah. I have ample time for myself.
Yeah.
When my wife is resting, I'm with the children.
Yeah.
When I'm resting, she's with the children. So it makes us create time, for them and then for ourselves. So it's about creating an intentional, structure and system in your house,
in your home,
that allows you, just like you said, be intentional. If you're not intentional about it, you get overwhelmed with rules, responsibilities, and then your ability not to manage your time.
Wow.
Also, that you said, how is the structure of our home? Usually, what happens is you bring what you got.
Okay.
So if you're not intentional to learn new skills, like you had, I'm not sure when you were growing up, did your dad have his itinerary? Did he have?
Nah.
So that's what knowledge, that's what learning brings.
Yeah.
Because your tendency, your natural tendency is to do exactly what was done to you. You said your dad traveled a lot. Your tendency is going to be easy for you to travel. I've met people who have said, somebody shared and said, every time his wife is giving birth, he's going to find something and leave. He's not going to be around, and he's had children, and he has done it. It's because he doesn't know how to be there and handle what's going on,
those kind of situations,
So he doesn't know. Sometimes you think that he's intentional, well, he doesn't know any better. So you have to agree that, yes, I have a problem. Why would I not want to be available during this time? Am I afraid of something? If you're able to work on your fears, then you can learn new coping skills, you can learn new ways of doing things and make your own better. So that, because if you ask yourself questions like, as a family, why do I do this? You hardly have a reason. It's because you picked it from
somewhere,
and then it just came as your automatic.
Wow. I'm learning a lot. At least.
How lucky you are. Because
you're
married.
We are all married.
Kids.
I mean, just before now, I was telling Adeh Jones on how I was going to be holding him tight now. I'll be holding one of his legs very tight.
It's happening.
Yes, it's happening.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Play to Heal podcast with Lami Gidado, brought to you by the Association of Play Therapy. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights into the transformative power of play. Remember, healing begins with a playful heart. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share the joy of play with others. Until next time, embrace the healing journey through the language of play.